888-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a Comfort Keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Thank you. 5 minutes after 11 o'clock, I love technology, right?
I know, this is great.
Well, the good thing is we got it up and running, right? Everything's working here.
It's exciting.
All right, this is a really good book. I have read very little of it so far. How far did you get into
I got the book, yeah.
You got the whole thing?
I love the book.
You're an amazing speed reader. The book is called The Deserter, and it really is good. Robin has read the whole thing. I'm just getting started on it, but I can tell you the reviews are outstanding. Nelson and Alex Demille are on the phone, and they are the authors of the book, so let me make them wait no longer. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being on the show with us today. Hello?
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear us? Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And thank you for being on the show with us.
I can hear you over here.
Okay.
There we go. Good job.
Thank you for being on the show. Tell me about The Deserter. Is this based on a true story? I don't think they can hear us.
Well, the seed of it was a true story. It was originally loosely based upon the Bo Bergdahl desertion case. He left his base in Afghanistan and was captured by the Taliban and ultimately released in a prisoner swap. But we felt his character was an interesting mystery, but the answer to the mystery wasn't that interesting. So we kind of changed his character a bit to be more an elite captain Delta Force who deserts, which is much more of a mystery. And he is, held by the Taliban for 2 years, ends up escaping, and then is spotted by an old army buddy in Caracas, Venezuela. And our main characters are two Army CID special agents, Criminal Investigation Division special agents, who are tasked with going to Venezuela to track this very dangerous man down, this very dangerous place, arrest him, and bring him back to the States to face court-martial. So there's a lot of mysteries up front about why he deserted, how he possibly escaped Taliban capture after 2 years.
Oh, my gosh.
On Earth he would then go to a place like Venezuela.
Nelson, is this Nelson talking? Nelson or Alex?
Sorry, this is Alex talking right now.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, we sound the same.
And there's Nelson. Okay, so Nelson, thank you for your service. Alex, will you be making this into a film?
I could definitely see it as a film. I'm currently working on actually a sequel to this book. So once I take my novelist hat off, maybe I can put my screenwriter hat back on. But we definitely would think it has a lot of potential. Yeah.
And you're making this into a series?
It lends itself to a series because it is an ongoing book series, and it's kind of episodic, like all of these police series. And this really is a police series, but with a military flavor, obviously, because two detectives, Scott Verdi and Matthew Taylor, Army Criminal Investigation Division, and because they're Army CID, they can go any place in the world where there's an Army base or a crime has been committed by U.S. military personnel. So we have a wide range of locales and a wide range of possible crimes to investigate. I think if anybody's listening out there in TV land, this would make a great TV series.
And you do have touches of humor within the book also, because you've got experience and an inexperienced character.
And you have a male-female. And you have kind of a yin and a yang. My most successful series was the John Corey series, and his father in that case is his wife. And I've done something like this before, in The General's Daughter, that was made into a movie with John Travolta and Madeline Stowe. The John Travolta character in The General's Daughter was also Army CID, and his partner was female and CID. So I kind of reprised that. It worked so successfully as a book, The General's Daughter, and as a movie, The General's Daughter. So I wanted to kind of bring that idea back of male-female partnership, have different approaches to criminal investigation, different approaches to authority, and also different approaches to life in general. So while they're working together on the same case, they're working it from two different viewpoints. And I think that really works in the book, and I think the reader goes along with it knowing that this has a little smack of truth. Anybody's married, I think, will know that men and women don't always agree on things.
Well, what were the dynamics of working together? Is this the first time that the two of you have done a book together?
Yeah, it is the first time. So it was definitely, we had to kind of find our footing. But we kind of worked out the broad strokes of what the setup would be, where it would be set, the kind of background of our main characters, and also of the Delta Force deserter named Kyle Mercer. Once we had those three characters worked out, we knew we were going to set it. We kind of went off, and I was the first draft of almost everything, and then I'd pass it on to my dad, and then he would do his work and pass it on, and we kind of just ping pong back and forth, doing revisions and rewrites, and then every few months or so we'd both step back, look at the big picture, have an in-person kind of story conference, because I was kind of writing the first draft. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going down a road that he didn't think would necessarily be fruitful. So in order to be kind of efficient and not do too much, not get off track, we just want to make sure we're both on the same page. But it was interesting, and I learned a lot. I hope I brought something to it too.
Yeah.
And I grew up with his books, and I grew up seeing what his process has been, and internalizing his voice in certain ways. So I felt like I was could do it.
Yeah, Nelson, you have an amazing legacy behind you. It's an amazing catalog of books, or whatever you say, library of books. Do you, in writing, this is maybe for Nelson, when you're writing a combat or a war-centered book, or a military-centered book, maybe that's the better question, does your own service play a role, and is it harder now in the newer with the newer conflicts to write about as opposed to the earlier conflicts that you might have written about in earlier books?
Yeah, no, good question. Some things about the Army never change, and once you've served, you understand kind of the Army head, the Army mentality, chain of command, how people think. That doesn't change much. That's the culture. And, but as the years go by, of course, the conflicts change. And I did write a combat scene for my last book, The Cuban Affair, which was a flashback combat scene to Afghanistan. But I'd never been there, I'd never been through that war. Mm-hmm. But when I started looking at, the research, it was easier for me to read it and understand it. So I think you kind of transfer one war to another up to a point. And the whole culture of the military is so different than civilian culture. So I kind of understand that. And I think that's what I brought to the book. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to make this book to Army criminal investigators, as I did in The General's Daughter. Because I thought it was just a little bit more. We've seen so many police series on TV and seen so many police novels, and they were kind of the same in some ways. But the military approaches things differently. They talk about things that are not talked about in the civilian world. In this case, they're talking about honor and also traitorous acts. So, the military is coming from a different point of view. This deserter in the book, Kyle Mercer, did something dishonorable. And we don't normally say that in civilian life when we're investigating a civilian criminal crime. Mm-hmm. So I think, and the editor appreciated that. The editor said, you're good at this, and we want you to, highlight and compare and contrast how the Army criminal investigator would approach a case as opposed to an NYPD detective, for instance. I think it would. I think it's fascinating for the reader to see inside Army criminal investigations.
And I think we're torn between feeling empathetic and angry at the deserter himself. I think we have torn feelings on that one. I have a copy of the book, and I'd like to give it away. Call me if you'd like the one that was sent to me. The rest of us have to go buy it. I found that on Amazon. Alex, do you guys have a website you'd like to promote?
Sure. My father's is nelsondemille.net, and mine is alexdemille.com, and links to all of our social media is on those sites as well.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being on the air with us, and thank you for your service, Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. He's going to call. All right, we'll be right back.
Attention WOCA listeners. Do you or someone you know have an outgoing personality with